Hello YouTube and welcome back to The Zone, where today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a little bit of a different sort of Christian article. Now, technically this isn't a saga or even one of the articles we've read, or even one of Christian's favourite moments. This is just a literal sort of part of his brain that almost seems to just decide whatever he wants to talk about. And that is his sense of humour, or otherwise his sense of random access humour. If you could technically call it a sense, then well, that's entirely up to you. But let's just go into this a little bit deeper. Maybe we could learn a little bit something about comedy and Chris's sort of sideways look at the thing. Random access. 1. Noun. Computing. Type of storage access where arbitrary data can be accessed as opposed to sequential access. See also random access memory. Adjective. 2. Quickism. Non-sequential, lacking any coherence. That's just Chris all over, but there you are. Humour. Noun. 1. Something funny. 2. Quickism. Something not funny, but which can be made funny when assessed randomly. See random access. Random access is Chris's terminology for his tendency to blurt out whatever random thought enters his mind. Literally through it's the equivalent of no filter, no thought, no process, no screening over stuff, whatever it might be. Just, it goes into his mind and it immediately shoots out, a bit like shooting a bullet. His mind is literally, as soon as you put the thing in, it's going to fire itself straight back out again, regardless of its relevance to a given situation. More traditional literary analysts might describe this as the literary device of non sequitur. The humour part of the phrase stems from Chris's assumption that if he says something completely irrelevant and random, then it is automatically funny, when most of the time it's completely nonsensical and infuriatingly unfunny. At this moment, especially, well, one, if there's, I could go on very long tangents about why some of the things he says just straight up do not work. In fact, if they give us an option right now, then you know what? In fact, I'll tell you what. Sneaking Flugen. Wild Solitude offers uproarious random access humour. Unfortunately, it's not, because 1, there's no joke being told here. 2, now, despite the fact there is not a joke being told, is because sometimes jokes don't necessarily need context. However, in the case of this, I do have no idea what on earth Snugen Flugen is supposed to be, or why Wild Solitude's face makes this funny, or what the colours behind this. So nothing out of this assumes or seems to begin to put forward into my mind that there's actually anything revolving around comedy being told. That's one of the first problems Chris has is with random access humour, and it's that. Well, I think that covers like a large portion of it, but we'll keep going anyway. The humour part of the phrase stems from Chris's assumption that if he says something completely irrelevant and random, then it is automatically funny, when most of the time it's completely nonsensical and infuriatingly unfunny. At this moment, the strongest portrayal of Chris's random access humour can be found in his quick flying elephants video. Technically the pink elephants, you may remember from Dumbo. Right, okay guys, first off, I've had absolutely no choice but to censor out, to completely edit out that part right there, and that's for a very good reason. It's because what we just saw on screen, I mean, I'll click back on it, but I'll have to describe by degrees again what's happening. The very first thing, this video quite clearly indeed some of Chris's horrendous man-ass. There's a GIF sort of video here of Chris literally standing up, fully naked, spinning around in circles while holding what looks like a PS3 controller, and then collapses again. Just what in the world? I'll tell you what, since we're on here first, let's just do an analysis of this anyway. Quick Flying Elements is a 7-minute video made by Chris and published by the Miscreants on the 27th of April 2009. Chris made this crazy nudie audition, as he dubbed it, for gal pal Vanessa Hudgens. This is when he believed he was cheating on Ivy with Vanessa, when in reality, these were two trolls. It shows Chris in his room, naked, displaying a show of what he calls random access humour. Chris runs, twirls, acts crazy, and does handstands. Well, technically, acts crazy is the best way you can put this, while completely in the nude. In addition, he imitates lines from Ed and Eddie, quotes Monty Python, plays with toys, and throws around Lil Chris. Okay, so apparently there's a censored version, but there is a real version here that it's literally just the audio leak. So I'm just gonna play this, and you guys are just gonna have to listen to this, because you know what? I think I get the gist of this, but again, I'll quote it right now. The only thing funny about, well, actually, let's just try it. Oh boy.
And now for something completely different. Ba-dum! And now, it's Monty Python's Flying Elephants. Johan, why is Pete running away? I don't know, Greedy. Why is Pete running away? Johan, why is Pete running away? I don't know, Johan. Greedy, Johan, why is Pete running away? I don't know, what Greedy. Johan, why is Pete...
Right, okay, that's it. I've had enough of this. I couldn't even get through 30 seconds of that. It's literally just a complete madman performing shit that just... Unfortunately, there's also an uncensored version, which that's it. I'm just getting rid of that completely. That video was, well, that proved akin to just one thing that Chris is going for him. He's acting completely crazy for the audience. Now listen, there is actually something that can be said about stuff like, let's say, oh god, what's it called again? The Eric Andre show, where Eric Andre just acts completely crazy for the camera. Unfortunately, for that is that Eric Andre is only an actor / comedian. Chris is not a comedian. He's just crazy. Like many of Chris's strange mannerisms, this is likely linked to his autism. A common symptom among autistics is echolalia, where they constantly repeat phrases from their favourite television shows, movies, and video games, regardless of whether they fit the current situation. Chris just so happens to take this to ridiculous levels. I mean, yeah, I do that as well, but there's a line that you draw, and unfortunately, Chris, he just does not know where that line is. Ironically enough, Chris's random access humor is often unoriginal. Oh, jokes are mostly taken from Adult Swim shows, Monty Python's Flying Circus, Family Guy, or even shows like Ed and Eddie and the Samurai Pizza Cats. Taking them completely out of context, he fails to understand the purpose of these jokes. True, absolutely. For example, Monty Python's comedy was sculpted specifically to satirize British culture of their era, and not simply random for the sake of random. Absolutely. Monty Python there's so much method to the madness. You listen, I know that almost better than anyone else. And you only need to, like, and I suppose maybe it's just the thing is that you have, sometimes it helps if you were like around for when the Monty Python were doing all their crazy shenanigans, but there's also a lot of stuff that you can, what was it, Confuse a Cat, The Suicidal Scotsman, there's way too much to count. But the point is that, and I might even just go watch some Monty Python immediately after this, because, you know, even some of their completely out there stuff is still, there's still a joke going on. There's still a build up, a setup, and then a punchline. With Chris, it's all punchlines. There's no build up. There's no context. It's just, here's something funny that somebody once said, and then we can throw. You know what? I've got a better idea. I'll put on something from Monty Python immediately when we finish this. This shows that even when Chris doesn't have to make any sense, he still has a hard time coming up with original material. Way to go, Chris. When Chris is original, it's mostly in the form of childish rhymes or wordplays that would make Lewis Carroll roll in his grave. His sex joke, anyone? This is due to Chris being a somewhat concrete thinker, having a tough time understanding abstract concepts, including humour, because of his linear thinking. He has the tendency to tell jokes, literally. AEG, Bob told Chris a joke about Obama painting the White House black if he won the 2008 election. Oh yeah, that one. And Chris just took that so literally he just ran with it. One occasion of note is a line in Sonnet number 2, wherein Sonnet being commanded to retreat retorts Swift, "You don't have to tell me twice." But during the Stone Age, according to Chris's official video book, the joke is, "You really need to tell those cavemen twice." But Chris fails to realize that as a joke is written in the comic, there is literally nothing to interpret as funny by any standard. This isn't too surprising. Since Chris has never shown interest in clarity for the audience, and simply makes the comics for his own sake. Not for distribution, not for retail, not to tell sequential stories. It's purely to do for Chris's state of mind. The randomosity is also questionable, in that allegedly random jokes are frequently repeated. Chris keeps retelling the same jokes that aren't funny in the first try. I think they meant to say first place there, but okay. First example, if you're a confused foreigner who has no idea what a Nantucket is, will Google it soon. Chris has specifically stated that he actually fears things that are beyond his control. A fear which falls nicely in line with autism. Chris also uses the term random access memory, which is basically when he says something completely random without the intent of being funny. He tends to use these when a conversation is not going in a direction he wants it to, and hopes that interjecting his other thought line, this will briefly distract him from that. Well, just like a computer, my brain is random. That's not true. Chris's brain's random, not a computer, because a computer, doesn't have a brain as such. It picks up memories at random. I cannot simplify access them sometimes, even though most of the time I can, but sometimes I can't, and they later come back to me at random. Chris during the father call showing off his mad computer science and neuroscience skills. Random ramblings, which is like 90% of anything Chris has ever said. In November 2009, in a misguided attempt to help Encyclopedia Dramatica to get to know him better and stop trolling him, Christian added the following to his ED page. Each brain in every person in the world is a computer, complete with an infinite GB RAM emphasis on random. And our autistic hero is no exception. Here are some of the ramblings that can make him comparable to the TV talking styles of those retarded robots, the Junkians, who got it from watching too much TV. Carrots are good for your eyes. Can it dial a phone? Uncle Spunky is really funky monkey. Yellow is a mellow colour. All abroad, here we go. Let's go somewhere else. I once knew a man from Nantucket and he had a... Oh god, this is almost so cringy that I actually don't even want to go for... I'm going to call my lawyer. His name is Tom Sawyer. He has a daughter named Sue who has been visiting her Uncle Sam for many years. Poor Tom. You've got a hippo on your head. I'm going to say I don't think I fucking know anything about what he's going to say here. So, I watch too much fucking television. In Chris's own words there. Maybe that's just the biggest one we need to take away from this. Chris watches way too much television. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that is technically the end of Chris's random access humour. It's just... I've got to say just very, very quickly is that just because something random enters your brain, it does not require you to literally scream it out into the world for literally no reason. It doesn't, even if your brain can come up with random memories and all this sort of stuff, you should also be able to use your brain in realizing that if it has absolutely no relevance to literally anything, then it's probably a bad idea not to scream it to the world, because the whole world will just look at you and think that, like everyone else at this point, you're crazy. Especially since I've just seen what the hell was concrete elephants or whatever the hell that was. So, just before we go, if you want to see, actual, you want to see actual random access humor, then you know what? I'll do it myself. So let me just see if I can find an actual good one. What's a good one that like barely anybody mentions? Well, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll do
Start
just for Batum's sake.
your year off on the right foot. Go to Wix.com and create your professional website today.
Here's a little number.
Mr. Creosote obviously is meant to satirize people who are so monstrously obese but still have so much appetite that they get so big that they literally blow up, which is highly exaggerated and pretty much physically improbable. But the idea is that it's done literally, it's so highly exaggerated that you wouldn't actually half believe that if somebody was as big as Mr. Creosote, then they absolutely would blow up. Unfortunately, now listen, that's it said on paper, and probably Chris would take it like that, but there's a little bit more than just that. There's stuff like acting, there's stage direction, there's everything else involved. Just take a look, and let me know what you guys think. In fact, actually, have I got the display? Okay, that's fine. So just enjoy this from Monty Python's The Meaning of Life.
Here's a little number I tossed off recently in the Caribbean. Isn't it awfully nice to have a penis? Isn't it frightfully good to have a dong? It's swell to have a stiffy, it's divine to own a dick. From the tiniest little tadger to the world's biggest prick. So 3 cheers for your Willie or John Thomas. Hooray for your one-eyed trouser snake. Your piece of pork, your wife's best friend, your Percy or your cock. You can wrap it up in ribbons, you can slip it in your sock. But don't take it out in public or they will stick you in the dock. And you won't come back. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, what a frightfully witty song. Marvellous. Oh, shit! It's Mr. Creosote!
Good afternoon, sir, and how are we today?
Better.
Better?
Better get a bucket. I'm going to throw up.
Gaston, a bucket for monsieur.
Yeah, monsieur.
Merci, Gaston.
I haven't finished.
Oh, pardon, Gaston. 1,000 pardons, monsieur. Now, this afternoon, we have monsieur's favorite, the jugged hare. The hare is very high, and the sauce is very rich, with truffles, anchovies, Grand Marnier, bacon, and cream. Thank you, Gaston.
There's still more.
Allow me. A new bucket for monsieur. And the cleaning woman. Et maintenant, would monsieur care for an aperitif, or would he prefer to order straight away? Today, we have for appetizers, excuse me, moule marinière, pâté de foie gras, beluga caviar, eggs benedictine, tarte de poireau, that's leek tart, frog's legs amandine, or œuf de caille Richard Shepherd, c'est-à-dire little quail's eggs and a bed of pureed mushroom. It's very delicate, very subtle.
I'll have the lot.
A wise choice, monsieur. And now, how would you like it served? All mixed up together in a bucket?
Yeah, with the eggs on top.
But of course, avec des œufs frites.
Yeah, don't skimp on the pate.
Oh, monsieur, I assure you, just because it is mixed up with all the other things, we would not dream of giving you less than the full amount. In fact, I will personally make sure you have a double helping. Maintenant, quelque chose à boire, something to drink, monsieur.
Yeah, I'll have 6 bottles of Chateau Latour 45.
45.
And a double Jeroboam of champagne.
Bon, and the usual brown ales?
Yeah. No, wait a minute. I think I could only manage 6 crates today.
I hope monsieur was not overdoing it last night.
Shut up!
D'accord. Ah, the new bucket and the cleaning woman. Is there something wrong with the food?
No, the food was excellent.
Perhaps you're not happy with the service?
No complaints.
It's just that we have to go. I'm having rather a heavy period.
And we have a train to catch.
Oh, yes, of course, we have a train to catch, and I don't want to start bleeding all over the seats.
Madam, perhaps we should be going.
Oh, farewell, monsieur. Thank you so much. So nice to see you. And I hope very much we will see you again very soon. Au revoir, monsieur. Oh dear. I have trodden in monsieur's bucket. Another bucket for monsieur. And perhaps a hose.
Oh, Max, really?
And finally, monsieur, a wafer thin mint.
Nah.
Oh, sir, it's only a tiny little thin one.
Nah, fuck off. I'm full.
Oh, sir. It's only a wafer thin.
Look, I couldn't eat another thing. I'm absolutely stuffed. Bugger all.
Oh, sir, just one.
Oh, just one.
Just the one, monsieur. Voila. Bon appétit.
Also, just bear in mind the music building. There is technically build up to this, which there is no real build up again in Chris's like sense of humor. It's just all spewed out like, well, like Mr. Creosote, to be honest. They are, ladies and gentlemen, actual comedians actually telling funny stuff. Also, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again 6 months later. Rest in peace to the legends that were Terry Ines, who was in charge of the music production for the Monty Python team, and also rest in peace to Terry Jones, the director of the legendary Life of Brian. How shall we fuck off, oh lord? I am literally going to get out my copy of The Meaning of Life and literally just watch that possibly for the rest of the day. But during the Stone Age. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video of accessing Chris's random access humor and us actually watching something funny for a change. Please also make sure to also leave your like and subscribe so you get daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.